it's an interesting observation to listen to the discussion between what I would call two sides in the belief on climate. And I'd like to ask each of you, and I'll start with you, Dr. Pelkey, has Earth's climate and temperatures, has that been something that has changed historically since the creation of the world?
Yeah, there's long time series that go back thousands, millions of years showing vast changes. However, the changes over the last century and a half have been judged to be largely driven by the accumulating greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So that's not particularly controversial. What is controversial is what are the effects? When will we know them? I would disagree with Dr. McCracken that we can control weather with carbon dioxide emissions. There's no knob that says more extreme weather, less extreme weather. There's a lot of great reasons for reducing carbon dioxide emissions, but I don't think anyone should think we're going to stop hurricanes or floods or atmospheric rivers using that knob.
Mr. Martz?
I largely agree with Dr. Pilkey about that assessment pretty much entirely. I do agree that obviously the planet has gone through all sorts of ebbs and flows throughout its 4.5 billion year history. And obviously, the Earth has gotten warmer over the last 100 years, and I do agree that most, I don't know how much of it is due to CO2 emissions, because CO2 is a greenhouse gas. The laws of physics are very clear on that. However, there is uncertainties, as I highlighted in my testimony here, and this is something that some of the scientists who work very closely on this, one of them is Dr. Roy Spencer at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. He's the science team leader on one of NASA's satellites that measures the radiation flows in and out of the atmosphere. I know him very well.
Yeah. Mr. Martz, I only have a short amount of time.
So obviously the natural energy flows in and out of the Earth's atmosphere.
Right, but that's not controlled by man. I mean, did man create the Ice Age?
No.
Yeah, right. So none of us were alive back then to know for sure. Dr. McCracken, do you believe that the world has seen climate changes since the creation of the world?
Well, I'd say I'm convinced by the evidence that has happened, yes.
Yeah, thank you. I'd also like to ask you all if you believe that people, regular people, the American people, and people all over the world, do they have the God-given right to clean air, clean water, clean crops? Or should governments and for-profit businesses and then scientists be allowed to override ordinary people, citizens of the United States, and spray all types of chemicals into the air, whether it's from the ground or in the sky? Who has a God-given right over that? Dr. Pilkey.
Yeah, that's in my testimony. That's why I called for enhanced oversight and regulation. I have this old-fashioned view. I'm a political scientist by training, that the government is the people. And if we start talking about the government being separate from the people, then something's messed up out there. And so I would much rather see people, normal people, feel like the government belongs to them and that they are one and the same.
The government or clean air, clean skies, and clean land?
Well, the way we regulate and get clean air is we come together and work and call it government, call it whatever you want to call it. But there's no way to have clean air to regulate geoengineering unless people can come together and make decisions that this is in our common interest.
Right.
So.
Mr. Martz.
I agree with that sentiment as well. I think that there obviously needs to be stricter oversight and regulation on some of these technologies and probably some more research into them. But I think that there should be, I largely agree with Dr. Pilkey, a non-use agreement, especially on the solar geoengineering aspects of it. And as a final point, yes, people should have a right to, to clean air, or clean water, and all of that.
Dr. McCracken.
Yes, of course they should, and there's actually a lawsuit of the youth trying to ensure that is something that the government does to make sure that there is clean air, clean water, and a healthy climate.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with that. I just want to point back to a government-funded project that was in a government housing where in St. Louis, Missouri, where the U.S. Army sprayed some sort of chemical fog over these people, basically making them lab rats in an experiment. And that's how people feel today about all types of weather modification and geoengineering. No one wants to be a lab rat. And I appreciate your comments where we only have one Earth. one Earth, and we really honestly should be taking care of that. My time has expired.